Hey everyone, so I want to talk about skin. And sometimes, your skin might not be as good as you think it can be, or you may be experiencing some sort of skin disorder. So I know that about a year and a half ago, I was sick of having acne. Usually it was just hormonal acne once a month in the T-zone, so around the chin, nose, and between the brows. Didn't look good, and I was in my 20s and I was like, hang on, this is meant to stop, immediately when I turned 20. And I didn't. I still had acne, and as well as that excessive oiliness. And so, after trying topical solutions, I was even tried with antibiotics from my GP, and that didn't do anything. It may dried it up a little bit, but otherwise my skin was very sensitive. I knew I couldn't go out in sunlight much because I would just burn instantly. And I thought, well, this is just making my skin worse. So eventually I gathered up the courage and I said, you know what, I want to see a skincare specialist, which is a dermatologist. And so I thought, this is going to be a costly experience, but, my happiness is kind of linked to how my skin looks. And the first thing you see in a person is their face. And if it's got, acne, sometimes that can be interpreted as them not being well, or just, not as good as they possibly could be. So I went ahead and I found a dermatologist, a local one. And yes, it was really expensive, but straight away he looked at my skin. I told him my concern. I said, look, this is affecting how I feel about myself. I'm not as confident as I could be, and I'm constantly worrying about having this acne, and it should be gone by now, and I've tried everything. And he said, what have you tried? And I said, antibiotics and skincare. And he's like, well, yeah, that doesn't work, then you've got to try something else. I'm like, finally, thank God. It's not that, I'm going to use Clearasil and magically be fine. I tried the oil cleansing method. I tried mud masks. I tried, I really looked after my skin, and nothing I tried seemed to work. So he actually said, right, we're going to pop you onto a drug called Roaccutane. Now, I remember telling my beauty therapist, and she was studying skincare at the time, and she said, really? I wouldn't think you'd be a candidate for that. That's more people that have cystic acne. And I said, well, mine's occasional acne, but I need to get it out of my system. And, he's a dermatologist. He's an expert. So straight away, I actually had to sign an agreement that I wouldn't get pregnant during that time, because Roaccutane is basically high concentrate of vitamin A. And the drug originally started out as a drug for people who had cancer. So it was a cancer treatment drug, but it didn't help, but they discovered their skin helped. Well, skin got better during the process. And so concentrated high amounts of vitamin A will cause deformities in a child. So you have to sign an agreement to terminate the pregnancy if you do get pregnant, because it's not fair bringing a child into the world who is going to probably not have limbs and things. So I didn't plan to get pregnant anyway, so I signed it, and he gave me some topical treatment as well, which was I think it was an alcohol-based drying agent of some sort. Straight away, I ran off to Chemist Warehouse, got the drugs, and I have to say some of the side effects were pretty nasty. The first thing that I noticed was that my joints hurt. I made a joke out of it because I did think it was funny. I was this young person, I'm like, can't really run anymore, and it hurts to walk sometimes, and my hips are a little sore. But you know what? As these symptoms, these side effects appeared, all I did was I just counteracted them with natural therapies. So, for example, with the sore limbs, I got onto krill oil, and yeah, krill oil was expensive. That was another, because it's more expensive than fish oil, but it's more effective. I was taking, I think, 2,000 milligrams a day, so more than I needed, but I knew that it was actually helping. And the dermatologist did try to make the dosage of Roaccutane higher, and I couldn't handle it. I found that a small dose had me a little on edge. When I took a larger dose, I actually slipped a bit into depression. So, and you hear some horror stories of people killing themselves. I didn't want to kill myself. I just wasn't happy. I just didn't feel happy. So he said, that's fine. We'll go back down to the normal introductory dosage, but we'll have to extend the treatment period. So whereas he wanted it to be 6 to 8 months, I was on it for about 12 months. And some of the good side effects I'll talk about is I no longer had oily skin. My skin was matte as. I remember driving home and I'd be like, oh shit, my skin would usually be oily right now, and I'd pull down the visor quickly and I'd be like, what? Who is that gorgeous angel staring back at me? I would have no oil, no acne. My makeup stayed all day. It was a dream makeup period, and towards the end I noticed my hair, it got really thick and really curly, and it was really healthy, and I hardly had to wash it. And I remember looking at it going, wow, And after a year I went off the drug, my acne had flushed itself from its system. In the next 3 to 4 months my oiliness did come back, but I found it wasn't as bad as it previously had been. And since then I've really gotten stuck into skincare and maintaining my skin. I wear sunscreen every day. I wear masks most nights. I've learnt and I've researched a lot on how to care for the skin now. But as you can see, no acne. Occasionally I might get a pimple or 3 around my period, but that's nothing bad, and I don't know how to treat it with like hydrocolloid bandages and of course, mint julep masks, things like that. Nothing that I would ever need to go back onto such a strong drug. They don't know the long-term effects of it, so whilst I know it was a risk to take it then, I was desperate enough that I needed to take it, and I knew that I couldn't be any more unhappy with how the skin was making me, so I had to try it. Yeah, so I found a photo of myself. I've been trying to go through the shots I have. I think a lot of the time when I did have acne, I avoided cameras like the plague. So I did find one photo where you can kind of see my acne, but it's outside, it's a bad shot, but here it is. Let me just focus that. So there I am there. I've actually got acne. I can see from my end. It's sort of hard to see, but it's around the nose and mouth. It's my old dog. I think I was about 17 or 18 at the time, and blonde. Yeah, so I mean, acne did come and go when I was younger. By the time I had finished the Roaccutane treatment, I was a little scared of going off it. I had a good skincare regime built up. I knew how to handle the dryness, constant dry lips. I was always packing lip balm, and every night whenever I put like my nighttime moisturizer on, it would sting. Taking my makeup off would hurt because it would mean my skin was that dry that anything I put on top would sting, and I'd have to my eyes would water. But once that was down, I'd then apply more and more and more and try and just replace and hydrate my skin as much as I could overnight. Yeah, but when I did go off the medication, I was scared, and it was a little disheartening when my hair went back to normal and my skin started to regain its oiliness. But in terms of acne, the big sore cystic stuff that I will occasionally get is gone. My skin is so clear, and I'm so happy, and I'm really glad that I actually found a dermatologist who didn't muck me around, who didn't go, okay, let's try topical this, or let's try this skincare program that I've got from some supplier. He just went straight to the top of the range, which is Roaccutane, the one drug that actually stops acne. So if you've got concern about skin and you have got acne, seek out a dermatologist. Find someone, see whether they take you seriously, get some advice from them, and I can give you my dermatologist's name if you happen to be in Eastern Victoria, in Australia of course, and because I highly recommend him. He's very, very good at what he does. And you don't have to suffer with bad skin, and please don't fall for gimmicks and brands saying that they'll fix stuff, because a lot of the time it is clever marketing, propaganda based on them selling a product and wanting to sell a solution to something that could be a very personal and emotional problem. So yeah, that's my story on how I got skin that does not get much acne anymore. So questions, comments down below, and I'll see you for my next video. Bye.